You'll get the signature Japanese. And we are back. So the last two vlogs were actually about us finally koi shopping. And it's actually over a period of a few days. It wasn't actually just 2 days. And we're gonna go over our fish and everything that we went through.
The fish and the process. There's typically like a set pattern when you're koi shopping in Japan. You call up, make an appointment, roll up to the farm, stop off, have some coffee, chit chat, catch up, because you haven't seen each other for a while, and from there on you meander into the koi houses, take a look at all their offerings, and start picking fish. Basically, you're kind of going into it blindly. Like, the more and more you go, you kind of know certain ponds are this price, or some ponds are...
not just ponds, but you look at the level of quality in each pond, and you can kind of tell what they're gonna go for, or what it's gonna sell for, and you decide from there if this is the pond that you want to pick from.
Exactly.
Experience kind of plays a little bit into it, but it's not bad to ask questions.
No, of course not.
Always, yeah.
It's the general rule of thumb is don't ever be afraid to ask, because you'll never know if you don't ask.
Exactly.
So
but
from there,
when they do say no, it's never a direct no. It's usually
Choto.
Shut up. You'll get the signature Japanese. So when they do that, you kind of know it's a...
There's a lot of
nuances
to Japanese in general. A lot of times there isn't really... It's not spoken, but you can tell from the body language what somebody's trying to say.
It's a very not direct culture. But it doesn't hurt to ask.
Exactly. From there, you'll bowl the fish up that you're interested in. Like I said, you're going into it blind, so you really don't know the price. So then you gotta negotiate over the price. And some ponds are priced by the pond. Every fish in the pond is the same price, but a lot of the better fish are individually priced. So you have to bowl the fish up, and then from there, ask the price. And if it's something that you feel is reasonable and worth it, then you make the agreement, you purchase it, and then you take pictures. Pictures, pictures, pictures.
You have no idea how much picture taking is involved.
At one point in the video, I'm taking photos of a fish in the bowl. The breeder's taking photos of different fish in the bowl behind me.
It's just...
I swear, I think...
It's not just for dealers. The breeder's just constantly taking photos. It's kind of a necessary evil almost. Everybody's almost like semi-professional photographers for koi at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, now we're gonna go through pretty much the fish we bought, what we like about it, and what we see in the future for it.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Asagis, and I think what is impressive about an Asagi breeder is...
just single color fish breeders in general.
Yeah, they're all Asagi in there, but they always manage to ship us the ones that we chose specifically. So they really look at the tiny details, the scales being different.
Yeah, it's single color breeders really know how to see scalation.
Izumiya specializes in Yamabuki. You pick a special Yamabuki, you will get that Yamabuki in your shipment. I mean, they're not perfect, they're human too. They might make a mistake here and there, but I'm gonna say 90%, 99% of the time, you get the Yamabuki you bought when you were there. So we picked up 4 Asagi at Oya, and well, obviously we like them all, but they're all very different from each other.
Yeah, the first one that we're filming here individually, you notice in the group shot, it's much larger than the other fish. Like the body, the volume of the body is just, it's filled out so much more. And the reason behind that fish was actually harvested that morning when we went there to purchase fish.
In comparison to the others who were harvested like a few weeks before.
Yeah, so it's amazing what 2 weeks seems like nothing, but then seeing those fish side by side, 2 weeks makes a big difference.
And that was, I think that's the prettiest of the four.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
That is the best Asagi of the four.
Very classic.
But when I say the best, it doesn't mean that it's always gonna be the best. At the moment, it is the best. It's the prettiest Asagi. It has a really nice clean head.
Motoaka on the fins and the red coming up to the lateral line.
So, classic, beautiful Asagi.
This next Asagi, quite different compared to the first one, as in, really the only red on this fish is on the Motoaka, and it's very small, right at the base of the pectoral fins. And by Motoaka, I mean red on the fins. The red
on the fins, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It has a very nice clean head. And even if it doesn't have the red yet, we've seen Asagi develop that red as it gets older. So just because it doesn't have it now, it doesn't mean that it's never going to have it. What stands out about this fish is the scales. The scales are very even. It's got a little bit of Kanogin on the top of it, which makes it so appealing, makes the skin really look shiny.
It really sets the scales out. They kind of pop out. But and that's something too that might continue to develop on the fish as it gets larger.
I really like how even the scales are. That's pretty much why we selected this fish. The next fish is pretty similar to... This fish is pretty similar to the previous one, and they're actually the same size as well.
Yeah.
This one has a little bit richer beni on the fin. The Motoaka is a little bit richer. No indication really how it'll develop in the future. It may or may not be an indicator, but at the moment it does have a richer beni, more pronounced beni.
And likewise to the previous one, it's got very good scalation and this Kanogin on the scales. It really
I think the Kanogin on this third fish, the Kanogin on the third fish is more pronounced than the one in the second fish.
For sure.
But it also has a darker hue of
the blue.
The blue is a little bit darker than the first one, which is ideal for people who maybe have
softer water
or water that develops. If your water has a tendency to develop deeper colors in your fish and your sumi and all that stuff, you might be better off buying an Asagi that is lighter when it's young. Versus when you don't...
If it's darker while it's young, it could potentially get really
dark in harder water.
The last Asagi is the smallest of the bunch.
But it's so interesting.
Yeah. I love the red pattern on this fish. It's in the dorsal. It comes up, kind of wraps around on the cheeks a bit, making kind of cute little ears, I guess.
And then it has it on the tail as well. Is it ideal to have the red in the tail?
Oh, with Asagi, you could go either way.
But with Asagi, what you're really looking at is scalation, clean head, and even color throughout.
Yeah, you don't want any of the red to be kind of bleeding. You want them sharp, clean edges on the
crisp. What I really like about this Asagi is at the breeder's auction, there was an Asagi being auctioned off by Oya as well, and it kind of had that same red pattern, like
on the cheeks,
kind of like a Princess Leia type thing going over here. It's really cute. You know, if you like that kind of stuff, it's really cute. I think it reminded me of that fish, and that fish was beautiful.
It's
auction fish, of course it's beautiful. But across the board, we like all the Asagis. They all have really nice big heads. We are very optimistic about them developing well in the future.
All the farms that breed Asagi, I found Oya to be, I think, in my opinion, the best. Yeah, very consistent. A lot of times in the States we have harder water, so the fish tend to develop some shimmies and whatnot on their heads, but Oya have always remained very clean for me.
I mean, most of the time.
It's
with koi, it's never a sure thing, but you want to get the higher percentage as much as you can.
Exactly. Go with what you've had the best results with.
Exactly.